Hey guys, I hope you are having a beautiful day. My name is Roshan, and in this video, I'm going to cover how you can grow your clothing brand while start by charging a premium, right? Because this has been a lot of clothing brand founders question whenever I hop on calls with them, when I would chat with them on conversations. Um, so, what does it really take to grow a clothing brand by charging a premium? That's exactly what I'm going to cover. And also, I have had many clients in the past. As you already know, I specifically serve clothing companies, clothing brands. So we have also had a lot of brands that we are charging a premium, and I will basically go over the process that we went through, the exact step-by-step process, which really helped them to scale to the next level, right? So I don't want to waste any of your time. Let me just get straight into it. All right, so let's get started growing a clothing brand by charging a premium, right? So first thing is this is the most important part, and this is not something that a lot of people take into consideration and don't think like it's too important, but a brand story, right? I will I'm going to basically break down things into excruciating details. Pay close attention. So first thing is your exact ideal customer, right? So if you are running a brand and your aim is to charge a premium, but you have not figured out who your ideal customer is exactly, specifically if you cannot pinpoint them, then you do not know who your ideal customer is basically. So all I'm really trying to the point I'm trying to get across is your exact ideal customer should be very clear for you. So just do this exercise. Go ahead, pick up a whiteboard and try to write down everything you know about your customers. Start off by writing their likes, their dislikes, what repels them, what attracts them, what are they motivated by, what grades on them. Like ask a bunch of different weird questions, even if you have to come up with all the answers to that, and then by the end of this, you know exactly what your ideal customer looks like. Because look, I always say this: you have to know your customers better than they know themselves. Only then you'll be able to pinpoint their pains and then present your product as an offer that's irresistible, right? So that's what it all really comes down to. So once you have figured out exactly who your ideal customer is, then moving on to the next step, highly resonating story. Now, this is where a lot of people make mistake. They basically have these stories, their about us section, filled up with things like we have been in business for 20 years now, or we have been a family-owned business. That's not a very highly resonating story. However, what's a highly resonating story is it really depends on your ideal customer. So I will give you one example later in this video. So one example of a highly resonating story is, let's say your ideal customers are into, let's say, whatever that is. Like, I don't want to give any specific examples just yet. So let's say they are into something and you basically are running a clothing brand targeting them, and you have a story where it says we are in business for 20 years, we are family owned, which is totally irrelevant to the ideal customer you're targeting. Then it does not make sense. The story does not just strike, does not just cut, right? So it's very crucial you have a highly resonating story. Next is building a movement around your ideal customers. This has been a game changer because you have to really have a community of your fans who are interested in your clothing, right? This is not the typical clothing brand that you have going on. This is really a premium and experience more than a clothing brand. So your customers value that logo so much. So first thing I would say above all is first try to perfect your logo, right? Make it something that actually looks premium. Then once we have that in place, obviously you should have that um, movement, right? Everyone wearing your brand's logo should be like very proud and like very happy about it. So definitely make sure to build a movement around their ideal customers so they can wear your clothing with pride. So moving on, the fourth point is emotionally compelling reason to buy the product right now, right? So why do your customers have to even make a purchase? Even if you have come up with all the status quo and all these good things, what's the emotionally compelling reason for them to make a purchase right now and not later in the future? One great example is let's take an example of the premium technology company, the iPhone. So year after year, they release new iPhones like iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, what's the emotionally compelling reason for the iPhone customers to buy right now and not in the future? Because they want to be updated with the latest iPhone, right? Because if the current new iPhone is in iPhone 11 and they have the iPhone 10, then it basically decreases their status, right? So they want that status to be maintained. So just quickly update to the new like no model that's recently launched. So what's the emotionally compelling reasons for your customers to buy the product that you have launched right now and not later in the future? So understand that customers who pay a premium have a different thought process, a completely different thought process, right? Because they have not commoditized your offer. They are not thinking of you as a choice between this and this. You are a competition of its own, right? So they don't necessarily care if the product has features, quality, benefits, etc. However, it's still important. But a lot of people, a lot of clothing brand founders get hung up on this fact that, oh, I need to have the best product. Yes, you need to have a good product, but trust me, you do not need to have the best, right? So that's where the distinction is made. The one and only thing they actually care about is how does this increase my status? This is all the customer worries about or thinks about when paying a premium. Then after they have the status, now it's nice to have a good quality product, to have features, benefits, but that's not their main buying criteria. So as I always say, humans buy with emotions and justify with logic. So remember this always. They buy the status, they buy that, they do not necessarily buy the features and benefits. So moving on, this is the next important part, which is the influencers. So once we have the brand story nailed down, we have figured out who your ideal customer is and everything. Influencers is the next step, right? So collaborating with influencers helps you increase your status instantly, like immediately, because the influencers have done the years of work to build a reputation. Just learn to leverage them the right way, because when you look at a lot of these big influencers in your space, they have been putting a lot of content building those raving fans. Now they have come up with a fan base of people who are literally willing to buy anything they are like they recommend. So why not just leverage them, right? Leverage them to your advantage. Just pay them even if it costs you a premium. If you, first rule of charging a premium is you have to be willing to pay a premium, right? So that's the first rule. Remember that if you cannot pay a premium, you basically do not deserve to charge a premium. And trust me, you will not have customers that will pay you a premium. Like it's just how nature works, right? So find micro influencers, send out some freebies, like maybe get them on like chat or call, like just ask them if they could record a video. This is the best way to go about it. A lot of people do that. Target big influencers in your space, right? That will build your brand's reputation and authority in a way you never imagined before. Because when you target these big influencers, your reputation and authority literally goes from here to here directly in a single shot, right? So some experiences about our previous clients charging a premium. So there was this one clothing brand that was again charging super premium for a simple t-shirt. He would charge like $100 and above. So this is exactly what he did, right? So there's this big YouTuber called David Dobrik. He makes a lot of vlogs and everything. Has millions of followers on YouTube. So this influencer somehow had connection with the David Dobrik, the influencer, through one of his friends, or I'm not sure exactly. So he got in touch with David Dobrik, the influencer. He asked him to wear his clothing and everything. They shot some really cool videos and stuff for the ads and for the brand story. And then he came up with a brand story that was mind blowing. So what he did was His goal was to target those teens who are trying to make it in their life, right? So anyone who goes out of the boundaries, does not settle for an average life. They want things like, out of, like, out of what normal, out of what a normal is. They wanted that extraordinary life, and every time they would go on that venture, everyone in their surroundings, those average people, would basically pull them down, or like, talk shit about them and stuff. So this was basically the movement, right? The movement of going extraordinary, becoming extraordinary, acting extraordinary. So the brand story really struck a nerve with the ideal customers, and then collabing with this David Dobrik, the influencer, really the right target audience that he had. It was a game changer. It was a big success, right? So this is what it takes. As you can see, he had the influencer, he had the authority, he had a stunning brand story which really struck the nerve. So he sold on emotions, not logic. Again, he sold the customers on what we call is like, status, not benefits and quality and features. Now once he did these things, it was this, like, big success. Honestly, we did like 100K in the first 3 months, in monthly revenue sales. So that's the story, right? So moving on, this is the final part of press heads, right? These are again a very big, they play a huge role. For example, Forbes suggesting, like, suggesting like some brand has done this, or they have the best products, or this or that, or whatever that is. So having some press heads that are very well known by to a lot of people does make a very big difference. So finally, this is like, once we have all those three things in place, having this concept of the butterfly effect, which is, I believe, the best marketing strategy of all time, which will literally help you grow at 20x speed, is the butterfly effect, hands down, right? So what this basically means is, for each customer that knows about your product, you should be getting 20 new customers from one new customer who got to know about your product. Let me repeat that again. For each customer that knows about your product, he should go ahead and tell to 20 different people that do not know about your product. And then the cycle should continue. Now, these 20 people should go ahead and talk about your product to the next 20 people, right? So look how fast the speed is. It's actually much faster than 20x, right? So what I would literally say is, butterfly effect, yes, it does require you to come up with great offers, but once you leverage this, you are in no time 100% going to be a multi-million dollar brand, or even a billion-dollar brand, because a lot of billion-dollar brands have this strategy in place 100%. So I have made a very detailed video going over butterfly effect. If you want, I can link the video in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Um, Definitely go ahead, check that out and implement it for clothing. I hope it will benefit you. So I hope you found some value in this video. Let me know what are your thoughts, and also let me know what kind of content you want me to make around, in order to help you scale your clothing. So that's pretty much it, guys. See ya. Have a great day. Take care.